Hey everyone, it's been a while since I've done any story times on my channel, so I thought I might bring them back now cause I know most of y'all miss these types of videos. So today's story is about the time I met a very paranoid mother at the youth center when I was still a minor. I still don't remember the exact age I was during that time, but I do know it was a very long time ago, and it was at the time my dad wasn't even around the place. So before we get into this video, hit that like button. So, this story time takes place many years ago, and my dad had just taken me to the youth center. It was just a normal day as usual. I was talking to some friends, and it was about this project we were doing today. And it was actually a good and decent day where nothing weird was gonna happen. Or so I thought. There was this one friend, and I'm gonna give him a name. I'm gonna call him Anderson. Now, Anderson, he was a good friend, and let me tell you that his mom was just fucking crazy. And I'm gonna tell you why. So, as I'm talking to Anderson and the others, this grown-ass middle-aged woman walks up to us and said, "Anderson, look at this!" And she pulls out her phone. It kind of looked like an old cell phone. And Anderson just rolled his eyes and was like, "What is it now, Mom?" And then she was like, "Look!" So Anderson looks at her phone and was like, "What am I supposed to be looking at?" Because really, he looked annoyed. And so his mother says, "Why does my phone do this?" And then Anderson explains to her that there was nothing wrong. And she just says that there is something wrong, and she was not believing what he said and kept saying that there was someone on her phone and listening in. And then Anderson says, "Nobody is on your phone listening." But then he gets cut off by her saying that there is someone and she is freaking out. From what Anderson told me is that his mom has been going fucking crazy over the smallest shit that is not even important. Like, for example, his mom would call him every 5 to 10 minutes about something popping up on the TV that shouldn't be, something to do with phones, or just petty shit when it's clearly just functions and features that were supposed to do that and act that way. It's like when you tell a person that it's basic functions and information that you know you're right about. That person will just deny it, say that you are not listening, and will say the most dumbest or bizarre excuses to make you feel like your opinions don't matter and that you will always be wrong. This is what parents do to their children just to make them turn out like them, which is very toxic and could make their child feel like shit. Because the mindset they have is that they think someone is monitoring what they do or their every move, and that makes them paranoid. And when you start to get paranoid and overthink so much, that's when you start to do it more often, where you think someone you know, like your family, friends, or anyone you know, is doing shit behind your back, or you think they are behind all your problems. This is what Anderson's mother did all the time, and it annoyed Anderson. No matter how many times he told her, she would not listen and would react in a negative way when he refused to agree with her. So anyway, as Anderson and his mom were talking, Anderson says, "Mom, I'm sorry, I cannot help you with that because I don't see what you're talking about." And his mom got seriously angry and said, "That's it, we're going home." And she just grabs him and takes him home, and he hasn't been here that long. And so me and some friends sat there looking at each other like, okay then? And if you thought that was the end of it, no, it didn't end there. So the next time I went to the youth center, I was with Anderson just talking to him again. And a few minutes later, his mom arrives and says, "Anderson, I thought I told you not to talk to anyone." And when I heard that, I looked at him and said, What is she talking about?" And Anderson says, "I don't know. She never told me that." And then his mom was like, "Yeah, I did. I told you that you couldn't talk to anyone since you refused to listen to me and say that I'm crazy and paranoid." And Anderson was like, "No, you didn't. You never said any of that." And his mother was like, "Yes, I did." And it was just a back and forth with these two. It felt like it was a never-ending match between them, cause it lasted for like an hour until finally it stopped. This lady was saying some nonsense about, "Oh, I've been into computers and I could tell them this." Like, this is the same shit my mom and some parents would say to justify what they were talking about and would try any way to prove their point. I don't fucking care if you were into computers in whatever time you were in. If I know what I'm talking about, then you shouldn't keep trying to push a narrative that you're always right. This is why I never believe anyone who has this type of mindset and refuses to admit that they are wrong. Whenever I hear this bizarre and stupid shit that comes out of people's mouth, I'm just like, okay, because I don't give a fuck about it. You're only setting yourself up for people to start looking at you and being like, yeah, this person is not mentally sane and I should avoid this person. Because people who use this whole, I'm into computers, and continue trying to put you down, degrade, and try to put this in your head that you're always going to be wrong, it's a toxic behavior and it will affect your mental health. And I had some people do that to me, but I don't give into their bullshit because I'm the type of guy that actually does full research on stuff, unlike the fucking idiots who read one thing that could be false or something on the news. But back to the story. So after they stop arguing, this lady looks at me and gives me a dirty look. And I say to her, did I do something? And she had an attitude and said, I don't know, just stay away from my son and never talk to him again. Because all I know, you people are crooks and idiots. And I got mad and I decided to be a smart mouth because I said to her, hey, I haven't done anything. You're the one being a paranoid fuck who thinks people are out to get you. Why don't you fuck off? Or better yet, go back to your husband and suck his fucking dick, because that's basically what you're good at, you bitch ass. And I called her the S word. And if you don't know what I mean by S word, it starts with S and ends with T. Yeah, that word. And before you start unsubscribing and calling me a horrible person for saying that, let me remind you that I was still a kid that day I called her that, so it doesn't matter since it was like years ago. And when I said that, some people in the room looked at me just completely shocked at what I said. Even Anderson looked at me with shock. It's when she said, you people and crooks, I already knew what she was referring to. And that lady got very angry and said, you are very disrespectful. Let's go, Anderson. And she just took him out of the building. And I just sat down and was like, fucking bitch. So after that day, I went home and slept that night. And what happened to Anderson? He never came back. I guess his mother didn't want him going there anymore because I'm there. Now, do I regret what I said to this lady? Well, maybe. But after looking back on it and how this lady was just rude and just being her fucking insane self, yeah, I honestly don't give a fuck what I said to this lady. But yeah, that's the story of some paranoid mother. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.